Okay, so answering this question, we want to write it in standard form, and if you look at it the way it is, it looks a little bit more challenging, but remember multiplication can be done any order, so we can rearrange this to make the maths a little bit easier. So put the numbers first, 2.1 times 6, and then put the power second, 10 to the power of 8 times 10 to the power of minus 5. So deal with the numbers first. 2.1 times 6 is going to give us 12.6. And remember, if you're not too happy with that, do 21 times 6 and then divide your answer by 10. And then if we deal with the second part, which is that bit there, 10 to the power of 8 times 10 to the power of minus 5, that's going to give us 10 squared. Now if you're unsure as to why that is, just quickly, 10 to the power of 8, we obviously know is 10 times 10 times 10 times 10, etc. Whereas if we're going to times that by 10 to the minus 5, that's the same as 1 over 10 to the power of 5. So when those two simplify together, that gives us 10 to the power of 8. Oh, I'm off the page. Sorry, let's bring it back a sec. We'll come back to it. So 10 to the power of 8 we know is 10 times 10, 10, etc. And then 1 times 10 to the power of 5 is the 10 to the minus 5 part. These two, when you multiply them out, 10 to the power of 8 times 1 is 10 to the 8. If you put that as a fraction there, you can then see 1 lot of 10 to the power of 5 is 10 to the power of 5. And we can see here, if we were to write that out in full, that there'd be a factor of 10 to the power of 5 in both. So I can divide both top and bottom by 10 to the power of 5, divide by 10 to the power of 5, and that would just leave us with 10 to the power of 2 over 1, which is just 10 squared. So if you need a bit more help with that, you could write it out even fuller. So 10 times 10 times 10, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then divided by 10, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can see that will be 5 to both top and bottom that you could simplify by, which would leave you with a 10 squared. So back to the question then. So 2.1 times 6 we did was 12.6, and those two simplified to give us 10 squared. Now the question said to give your answer in standard form, so that is not the final answer. Standard form has to be a number between 1 and 10, and that is not a number between 1 and 10. So if I divide this by 10, that's going to make it 1.26 times 10. Now it can't still be squared because I've just made my answer 10 times, my question first part 10 times smaller, so I then need to times that by an extra power of 10 to keep it in proportion, so that will become 10 cubed. And that's your final answer.